The only thing I'll say is, why isn't Fournier back now?
So that's what we said when it first crossed, and I agree with you, Bobby. Like, grudgingly, my offseason plan, seeing as I didn't think they were going to make any trades, was run it back, re-sign Fournier, extend Smart, extend Rob, pray for the development.
That would have made sense if you weren't keeping cap space open. Yeah.
If you're not worried about cap space,
gone.
that's just tax. That's tax. And I don't care. Like I said, I don't care what rich guys pay in tax. We didn't become basketball fans. We didn't get into this profession to talk about and to manage the cap. That's not important to people who are interested in the welfare of this team. That's a rich guy paying extra money, which you absolutely expect people to do. And you look at the teams who are willing to go deep into their pockets, the Brooklyns and, Golden States and what have you. That's how it works.
Think of how good this team would look with Fournier.
Better.
What they have.
You pay what it takes, and that's that. So the problem was it would have been a really expensive non-contender. And that's that. So that was the reality. But I didn't see a better path to wins, because I never really saw a path to Beal, and because they don't have any tradable assets really to get him or to any third star. So I would rather make this team as good as you can possibly make it by holding on to what you have. And that's it. So I don't get it. I don't get not Smart and yes to Fournier. I also don't get why not yes Fournier, no Smart. Like at the end of the year, what you were talking about, Bobby, was if you had to pick one, who was more valuable? And I understand once Kemba was traded, the equation changed based on team need. But which player would you rather have for 4 years? That's a tough call.
It would have pushed this team any further in the right direction in terms of contention to keep him around, or would it have just made sense to keep him in the fold here, given what you had?
He's a really good player, and I think they should, like I said, I think they should have, and then just roll the dice with whatever happens.
I guess the one thing you could say is that probably pushes you over the hard cap if you do a sign and trade for Beal down the line, I guess. So that's why you wouldn't do that. But I did see our guy Bernardoni there say he wasn't a great fit next to the Jays. I disagree with that. Like the catch and shoot dominance that he showed in that short little stretch there. 7 of 11 games from 3, great secondary playmaking and scoring. The defense wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst in the world.
For Beal?
People made it seem. No, this is for Fournier.
Like I said, I liked Fournier. He was what he was. Again, we had this conversation right after the trade deadline. What are they going to do with Fournier? We literally have had the conversation we're having now. We had the day they acquired Fournier, which was, this is going to be difficult for them. They're going to have crazy choices to make, because if they re-sign Fournier and extend Smart, they will have the most expensive non-contending team, in the NBA. And that we knew that was obvious then. And so what did they do? And you were saying they might have to pick one or the other. They did. They didn't want to do both. They didn't want to be saddled with both contracts. So they hedged. They re-signed Marcus. They let Fournier walk. That was it.
It's interesting because
you wonder if Fournier didn't have that market, Bobby. You wonder if Fournier was here and he signed 3 and 39 or 3 and 42 here instead, if Marcus would be gone. Because
Fournier makes a little bit more than Smart because he can shoot. Like that's your salary in this league kind of is proportional to your shooting ability, and Fournier is a much better shooter than Smart, so it does actually make sense that he got a little bit more than Smart. Probably should have got way more than Smart if we're just basing off guys' shooting abilities.
Sure.
So, you actually did ask a very tough question to start the show there. You have 3 point guards now, 3 starting point guards, really, and you're missing a wing. So would it have made more sense to kind of have a Schroeder and a Richardson there and have Fournier on the wing? I don't know. In terms of a team building standpoint, that might have worked out better than this did. But there really does seem to be kind of like a heartstring attachment to Smart here that they've had a tough time shaking. And that certainly went into this too.